Alright, hey everybody, it's Phoenix Flight from the Mechabellum Discord again. So we've got a new replay review coming up here from Hot Cloud versus Zork. So this is an 850 MMR level game, and Zork had, Hot Cloud had some specific questions about how to deal with an enemy that has primarily long range units with lots of chaff support. So that's what we're going to be reviewing today. And our protagonist here, Hot Clue, is the red player, so I'm going to be watching it from his perspective. Let's zoom out here. So we're starting here with Speed Specialist with sledges and crawlers. Looks like he's just going through the presets, trying to find something that works well. Totally fine, especially at the 850 MMR level. Most of the presets follow pretty decent best practices. I mean, I'm at 1650. I still use the presets. I'll typically pick one and then adjust it slightly based on how I like to play, but it saves a lot of time in round one for sure. So we're going mass crawler with sledges to start the game, nice and wide so it can handle a little bit of everything. Going into an enemy who is a giant specialist running sledges as well, along with some marksmen up in the front and some crawlers that come later in the back. Alright, so let's check out round one here. Shouldn't be that consequential, but let's take a look. Alright, so we're seeing marksmen's getting on the sledges right away. Just want to address that with some additional chaff placement. Yeah, this is where Speed Specialist comes in handy. Crawler's getting in deep early. Should be a round one win for sure, especially because Giant Spec doesn't really get their ability until they start buying Giants, while Speed Specialist works immediately from round one. Alright, we'll take the chip damage. Okay, let's take a look at these cards for a moment. Wasp Swarm would certainly be strong for both players, given the only anti-air right now are some marksmen's up here in the front. Electromag, probably not all that useful early on. Nano Repair on one of the sledges might be okay if you can keep the marksman distracted. Then Energy Shield, not too much use right now, but it could be useful in the late game. Okay, so looks like Zork's here is going for the Wasp Swarm. Okay, both players going for wasps, and they're okay. So Hot Clue's playing it defensively, Zork's playing it offensively. This makes total sense. You acknowledge that the other player could play Wasp Swarm, and you don't have any anti-air at the moment, so you're countering it. So nicely done there. Okay, so we're level 2 crawlers coming out is pretty interesting this early on. It's certainly on the riskier side of things. If you're going to run leveled crawlers, you should really be putting them way in the back, right about here or here, just because then they arrive late, well after the battle is complete. The idea being that they show up once the chaff clears are already gone, ideally, so then they can really wreak havoc. But yeah, this early on you can absolutely get away with it. So yeah, if I'm your opponent, obviously with this many crawlers still alive, he has to address them with some serious chaff clear. And as Giant Specialist, that's just screaming, oh, where'd he go? We got a Vulcan option right there waiting for him. But let's see about you. So obviously he should pick the Vulcan. Would be kind of shocked if he doesn't. Only thing I could see would be maybe he picks a different unit and then unlocks the Vulcan for free as Giant Specialist. Okay, you go for the Scorpions. That's perfect against Mass Sledge. I love the pick. Phoenixes would have been a good option as well, if you're concerned about having nothing in the air currently. But we can address anti-air in either later this round or next round. Yep, obviously goes for the Vulcan. No surprise there. Let's go back up to full speed. Okay, so he's going sledge, marksman. He's really light on the chaff right now. This could be something you absolutely are able to exploit, having some more heavy damage dealing units, which is absolutely the case with the Scorpion. Interesting, you really like these level 2 recruitments. I don't have a super strong opinion, but what I do have an opinion on is I like the crawlers behind the sledges so that they split up like that. But the problem is when they are so close to one another, including this Scorpion, it's just asking for either missile abuse with sentries, or later in the game if, like, let's say, orbital javelin becomes an option, a single javelin would take out that whole pod of units with no recourse. There's no way to defend against javelin. So, yeah, obviously seeing once the crawlers go down quickly, these units are able to do some serious work. Alright, going into round 4, let's take a look at these. Oh, speak of the devil, we got a javelin. See, this is the danger of having units stationed so close to one another. If I'm him, I'm seriously considering just dropping a javelin right here. Or, sorry, I'm just getting used to this toast. Right here, or on the other ones. So, got that. Then let's see what some of the other options are. Looks like the opponent, opponent skips, or no, you skipped rather. Opponent could go oil bomb, going for the laser sights. Yeah, laser sights, especially when he has units that benefit from long range, pretty good. Instead of skipping, I would have gone laser sights on one of these Scorpions to keep them in the back, have them do their damage from afar. It's not a horrible misplay by any means, but certainly a lost opportunity for sure. See, now he's going to put on his Vulcan. Okay, so looks like we're going to steel balls as a response to this. And he's going to go into wasps. So, yeah, he sees that you still have no anti-air, so the wasps are going to get a free win for him. I like the idea of the steel balls going straight into the Vulcan, for sure. And without knowing it, you just also countered the self-repair sledges this way. But yeah, we need something else that's tankier to distract the Vulcan right now, so the steel balls can actually get in. Yep, so let's just speed this up. It's a guaranteed win with the wasps with no answer for them. Okay. Subsidized steel ball certainly piques my interest to deal with both these sledgehammers and the giants. And as giant special, you know he's going to be building more giants. Nano repair kit on... Yeah, you're not running auto repair on the Scorpions, so certainly an nano repair on one of the Scorpions could be a play. That's totally reasonable. Missile strike... you could do it on one of these backline areas here to deal with both the crawlers and the wasps simultaneously for one side of it. And then you do go for the subsidized steel ball. Tank production line probably doesn't make sense into this board. He's got plenty of marksmen to deal with the tanks right now if you were to go for it. Then he goes for tank production line, which makes sense because he has sledges that already have a technology on them. So... Alright, let's see what you do with these subsidized steel balls. Okay, now with this many steel balls, should be able to get into the Vulcan, I would imagine. But whether he can take it down as a level 2 remains to be seen. But my major concern, though, is you saw he had wasps last round, and you had no anti-air response at all whatsoever for him. So now he's going to get another free round, no matter what you do. Oh, here comes some phoenixes. Not the best answer to wasps, but it'll certainly help take down the Vulcan. I just feel like you have steel balls, phoenixes, and scorpions all having the same role as being your heavy damage giant killers. So thinking about this a little, oh, and you're going in for the life steal. Life steal hasn't been that wouldn't be that useful because they aren't really getting in the first place. I would have recommended range first, just so they can latch onto these giants faster in the first place, and then maybe if they're doing well, you get energy as a second tech. But like I was saying though, in retrospect, I'm thinking about this further. You already had these scorpions to be your giant killers, so I don't really see the use of the steel balls now. It's sort of an overlapping of roles. It's not a horrible idea by any means. It's nice to have something up in the front that's a little tankier as well, so it does have a second purpose. But yeah, now we're latching on to the units. I stand corrected. The life steal did great on this round in particular. But now the enemy's seen that, he's almost certainly going to put some chaff in front of those Vulcans to protect them for longer. But let's see if these phoenixes can steal around by taking out all those wasps. And it's going to keep them pretty busy. Let's just speed it up here. Looks like you're just barely going to be able to steal this one, but you should absolutely respect the wasps and anticipate chaff coming to support the Vulcans to prevent easy kills from the steel balls. Round 6. Alright. Obviously with the enemy being a giant special, you almost certainly know he's going to go senior man unless he's really trying to push for a quick win now and go for maybe amp core or smoke bomb. But the safe play for the giant specialist is always going to be senior man. As for you, smoke bomb could be okay. Given how quickly you're pushing in with these steel balls, I don't really think the range reduction is going to do all that much to them. Missile device does nothing for you, pretty much. So it's probably going to be amp core on one of the scorpions would be my play if I'm given this situation. Let's see how we do this. Okay, so enemy does go for the amp core. What's he going to put it on, though? Is he going to build a third giant? Okay, so he's going to build a boat. He's seeing that you don't have a good anti-air response. Okay, anti-air wasps, solid play, and that also helps because your wasp drop, also those wasps get the same technology, so your wasps are going to outduel his wasps in the back here. Okay, I'm liking the armor enhancement. This is a great play. The Vulcan is effectively completely useless against these guys. Let's see, 180. Now that he's level 2, he's going to do a bit of damage, but because it rejects 120 damage, it's doing 180. So 60 damage per, was it second, I believe? So, yeah, for per 10th of a second. So, okay, enemy's pushing, taking a lone, trying to get a tempo kill early, believes he can win right now. That's why he probably didn't take senior man in the end of the day. But okay, puts the amp core on the Overlord, totally makes sense. Overlord, great counter to the steel balls though. But let's see how this goes down. Oh. Yeah. Yep, no surprise, your wasp in the back took care of business. Yeah, doing much better this round. So, this is the type of thing where a second wave of chaff in the back right about now would have been really useful. Granted, the wasps are sort of semi-taking that role. Because I'm looking here, you have no chaff on your back line. Like, typically you want crawlers coming in at the very end, once all the chaff clears are dead. Okay. So, Sabertooth isn't really going to do much for you. Let's see, you went for... enemy went for Typhoons, yep. So, enemies respecting your Wasps, taking down the Typhoons. That totally makes sense. For you, your chaff clears pretty okay, so I don't see the need for Fire Badger, especially because he doesn't have much ground chaff at all. Stormcaller, you don't really need them per se, given how short range these engagements are. Yeah, none of these really stand out to me, honestly. I mean, because Stormcallers are filling the same role, really, as the Scorpion, so... maybe you go for, like, Sabertooth, and then Anti-Missile, and put one down here, and that reduces the amount of attacks that the Overlord can get in, and then you just start selling. Yeah. I don't know. None of these are great options for what you need. Okay, Stormcallers, fine. Just make sure they're going in the back. Oh, going for temporary range. Okay. Yeah, round 7, 1,000 health left. This is the time you're going to need temp range. Especially for you, given you're trying to push in with balls quickly, I'd be valuing temp speed a lot. Okay, going for Electromag Callers. Okay, I see, to try to stop the sledgehammers from regenerating. Got a Surprise War Factory coming out from the Giant Special, going into range right away. So he's a believer that he can distract your Scorpions enough for this War Factory to get some work done, along with the Steel Balls. I'm not really sure about this War Factory play. I mean, I know as Giant Special, it can work, but I just see you have plenty of counters to it already. Yeah, this is looking pretty solid overall. Stormcallers in the way back should clean this up just fine. They're gonna outrange the marksman. Okay, round 8 here. Okay, so let's take a look. Assault Scorpion, given how far in the back they are, I'm not sure I would really value it. I mean, decreasing range by 30 is pretty significant. Deployment Special, given how late... Okay, going improve... Or your enemy's going for improved fire control. That put that in maybe one of the Wasps. As for you, improved firepower control on one of the Wasps is probably the play. Yeah, it looks like you went for it. You want to put improved firepower control on a unit that attacks quickly with lots of small damage attacks, just so you get the bonus more regularly. There you go, and it's on your... Let's see. Yeah, these are on your good Wasps. Yeah, they're the ones that had the most damage of the Wasps last round. So, absolutely the right play, in my opinion. Again, we could really use some crawlers in the back corners. I'll have to figure out that Telestrator app later. Okay, Mech Div. This could be okay. If you can take down the Vulcans quickly, it'll do some serious damage. But then again, there's the Typhoons right there, ready to back them up. Enemy putting it on the Typhoon. Yeah, you see, it did the most damage last round for him, so it makes sense for him to put it on the most effective unit. And then he is respecting your Stormcallers, going for the War Factory anti-missile. It's totally reasonable. Yeah, at this point, at 213 health, you should push every round and go for the kill. So at this point, always lone, always enhance range, advance speed. Definitely, if there's another round, we're going to need to pick up this attack enhancement. Your wasps in particular would benefit pretty greatly from it. Nice, taking down the war factory. See, right about now, the second wave of crawlers would be showing up. Yeah, this should be an easy win for you now. Yeah, well played, for sure. Especially for someone at the 850 MMR level, you definitely have the basics down. There weren't any, like, egregious mistakes per se. Yeah, I don't really have a ton of feedback on this one in particular. Like, you're on your way to moving your way up. The main thing, I guess, was just the idea of having both the steel balls and the scorpions doing pretty much the same role. Felt like it was a little bit of overlap there. But like I said, I could see a purpose, especially once you had the armor enhancement, to be a tanky front line to distract some of the lower DPS units. Yeah, no real major concerns. Like I said, the only real thing that really stood out to me that told me this was a lower MMR game is in higher level games, you're almost always going to see crawlers in the back corners and then maybe another one in the middle here. Just so that when the first wave of crawlers up here starts dying off, the second wave starts arriving and then continues to be distracting enemy units. Hopefully by then, most of the chaff clears are dead or distracted on higher value targets, so the chaff can get in deep at that point. Yeah, that's pretty much all I got. The feedback I've got for you. Well done. And you'll certainly be moving your way up soon enough at this rate. Alright, Phoenix Flight out.